Hello everyone. In this video, we will talk about how to write a conclusion of an essay. The video will cover topics about the purpose of conclusion, general elements and structure, strategies for writing effective conclusion, and tips for avoiding mistakes. The purpose of conclusion is to remind the readers of the most important point and the value of your essay. More importantly, the purpose of conclusion is to extend the topic to broader context. Ask yourself, what did you intend the readers to take from this essay? The structure of conclusion paragraph generally includes link development, and final statement. The conclusion should match the introduction in terms of the ideas and the argument. You can refer to main ideas of your essay or topics in the first sentence, and then you should extend the link to further and broader thoughts. How can you extend your topic to broader context? There are various ways of connecting your thoughts to further ideas. For examples, you can ask a provocative question, evaluate your essay or topic, call for actions, project the future, restate thesis, and summarizes the main points. Thesis statement and summarizing is the commonly used strategy of writing a conclusion. When you're writing a long paper, this strategy helps readers remind of the main idea of your long paper. However, when you're writing a short essay, you should be careful not to spare much space for summary or thesis. Readers want more than that in the conclusion. To write an effective conclusion, use the summary or thesis as a link to the topic and pay more attention on how to extend this link to broader context. Next slides will explain the details of the strategies with examples. Ask further questions. You can ask a provocative question so the readers can find answers to the question. Look at the example. In the first sentence, the writer linked to the topic with the summary of main points. After writing the main idea, the writer raises a social issue and asks questions. How can people perceive the value of your marriage? How can the society enable people to pursue a marriage? You can suggest your own answers to the question. The readers will also be involved in the process of finding the possible solutions. Evaluate your topic. You can describe the limitations of research or show your opinions on the topic or argument of your essay. Look at the example. This is a critical review essay of a fiction. The writer briefly summarizes and evaluates the story. It evaluates that the story makes the readers to think about loneliness and expresses an opinion that it will be appealing to both fantasy devotees and lonely people, especially women in 30s. Call for actions. If you are writing a persuasive essay, you can ask some actions to have your argument proceed. Look at the example. The writer discusses why we should ban smoking on campus and ask universities to have effective and strong policies to have this regulation kept by people. This link development makes the reader to think more about practical policies. Project the future. You can express your hopes or concerns for the future. This is a conclusion of an essay that discusses the advantages of recycling. The writer projects the future society will be in trouble unless we take an action now. This way, readers can understand the significance of this argument. Suggestions for future studies. In research papers, you can give suggestions for future studies. This conclusion briefly states the thesis and evaluates two studies. It describes the limitations of the research methods and proposes that future studies need to include interviewing students to get meaningful findings. Avoid mistakes. First, don't fill the conclusion with summary and thesis only. You can use them as a part of the conclusion, but the more important point is that you should find a way of making your conclusion connected to other contexts. Next, you should be careful not to add any new claim that needs further discussion. And also don't focus on a minor point or issue of your essay. The new claim and specific evidence should be written in body paragraphs. Remember that, in conclusion, you should step back and focus on the big picture of your essay. Let's look at an example of a conclusion paragraph. The link in this conclusion is a stay-home mom. In the yellow part, the writer contrasts the negative aspects and positive aspects of working as a stay-home mom. The green part summarizes main points. In the blue section, the writer extends the stay-home mom's contribution to children's adulthood and successful society. The gray-colored final statement briefly talks about the thesis of the argument and extends the significance of stay-home moms' work to societal-level contribution. Look at another example. This is a persuasive essay about school choice. The link of this conclusion is one-size-fits-all education and the argument on school choice. Green-colored sentences summarize the main points. The blue parts call for actions to turn to the social demands in the digital age. In the last sentence, the writer briefly mentions the thesis of the argument and projects the future hope. We have reviewed how to write an effective conclusion. The structure of conclusion is more flexible than body or introduction paragraphs. Choose strategies that best fit your writing purpose and write something readers will take seriously. I hope this video helps you a lot. Thank you.